Hello and welcome to another episode of the Talkology Podcast. I'm your host, Otaku Mike. With me, as always, is
What's up?
Jane. He has a wrist rocket. It might be from Nom Graves.
Jesus. The wrist rocket.
that was a that was a mouthful.
Hey.
And today we're talking about Stranger Things, Season 1, Episode 3, Holly Jolly. Yeah, that's right. We're on Episode 3 right now.
Yeah, we are.
What were you going to say?
I can't remember. I was going to say something about the wrist rocket, like it keeps popping up.
I forgot the wrist rocket popped up so early in Stranger Things.
Yeah. It
Oh man.
it makes me think of like what was their starting equipment bags in this, and then what happened, what changed in them in like episode 2, or not episode 2, in season 2.
I think they kind of kept it because I think Lucas does keep the wrist rocket, at least for season 2. I want to say. But they drastically change over time when it comes to dealing with bigger and badder threats.
Yeah.
But when we get to that scene, we can talk about it because that scene had me rolling. I thought it was really funny. This whole episode was actually a lot better than episode 2. I feel like.
I agree. And I will state, I feel like the problems we had last time with like remembering all the different things, because like this episode does the same thing, but honestly, I feel like both these episodes are so well tactfully done that things that happen in episode 2 and things that happen in episode 3 kind of coincide together, and it gets confusing.
I mean, it does get confusing because honestly, after watching episode 3, like I went through it and I watched it once and I was like, what did I just watch? Because I forgot what I watched. I don't know if it's just because of my old age. I'm getting older. Maybe I have an onset early dementia. I don't
Not
know.
onset early
or
dementia.
or Alzheimer's. I don't
Oh
know.
gosh.
But we did figure out who the mystery woman was from, was it episode 1 or 2? The mystery woman that Hopper has in his bed. I think it's revealed in this episode.
The first one?
Maybe. The librarian. Isn't the librarian in his bed in the first episode?
Or in the second one?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was the librarian, but it could have been.
I mean, that's where I put 2 and 2 together. It was like Hopper was like, hey, let's go out and have a quickie. And then he like doesn't call her ever again.
Yeah, see, I thought the librarian happened like coming up.
I don't know, because she shows up in this episode.
Yeah. I'll have to look, because I thought it was 2 different people.
Maybe it could have been. I don't know. I could be wrong. But they were both brown-headed
Yeah.
ladies.
Well,
But let's get into
and like
this.
we've talked about, sometimes things just go so well together that you really don't know if it's true or not. So
That's true. But let's get into this. So our story starts out where we left off in episode 2, where we see Steve and Nancy getting hot and heavy in Steve's bedroom, which coincides with Barb getting possibly eaten by a demigorgon in the upside down pool. This scene was terrifying. Very terrifying.
this is a scene that I don't like. For one, you can tell like at the beginning of it how like Nancy's character doesn't exactly enjoy what's going on.
Do you think this was her first time?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, because that's what I thought going into this. Like, is this her first time? Is this Steve's first time?
No. No, it's not Steve's first time, because she jokes with him saying that he slept with Susie B and Nancy Q or something like that.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you last time if
Which,
he had slept with the other girl that is with the friend that's at the party too. She seems kind of like a loose woman.
I mean, I really don't know because I mean, honestly, like old Steve kind of gets erased when new Steve shows up in the show.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't remember like much about Steve in like the first season.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like a refresher for me, I feel
I get it.
like.
You're like, I don't want to think about bad Steve. I want to think about good Steve.
I don't want to think about bad Steve. I want to think about good Steve. He's best friends with
I
Dustin.
want to think about him at the end of season 1 where he picks up the bat and he's helping Nancy and Jonathan in the buyer's house.
Yeah, if you die, I die. If I die, you die type of
Yeah.
thing. That's the Steve that I want.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get this weird scene where Barb gets attacked by the Demogorgon.
Well,
It's so
and I
sad.
also feel like this is what is the thing when people buy the weird tapes and want to get off to them, the with
Oh, like a snuff
yeah,
film?
yeah. Like this almost seems like that's what it's leaning into because like the inevitable about well Barb's probably going to die to this Demogorgon and yet Steve and Nancy are about to go at it.
And like Nancy wakes up, like I thought it was the next day, but I guess it's a few hours
Yeah, it's
later.
the same night.
And
It's got to be like 11 or 12. Like
and Steve is like fucking out, and she's like, "Hey, Steve," and he's like, and you can tell like something is up with Nancy. Like I feel like she thought this would be better than it
yeah.
was because she gets home and her mom is like, "Where the fuck have you been? It's past 10 o'clock,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Yeah, Nancy, where the fuck
And
have you been?"
in this scene I keep wanting that like when people like sneak out in old movies and then they come home and somebody's always sitting by a lamp and it's dark in the house and they go click and they click on the light. Like that's almost how I want the
Yeah.
scene to be, but it's not because obviously it's like
No, she just comes.
it's the parent coming into the room like, where
Yeah.
have you been?
She just comes like barreling down the hallway. I'm like, oh my god! Like, come on, Miss
I've
Wheeler.
been
Where was Ted at this point? Well, this seems like more like a Ted job,
Ted's probably in there sleeping in the chair because Ted
probably.
fits the classic dad thing where he sleeps in the recliner because he falls asleep in front of the TV.
That would have been funny if he was in the background,
Oh yeah,
like
if
just
they had
sleeping.
changed the angle around where we saw into that room, that would have been great.
Yeah, yeah, that would have been funny. That would have been really funny. And so, like, she's like, no, nothing happened. We went out for burgers or something after the it was like a eulogy or something.
Yeah, after the thing for Will,
Yeah,
not the eulogy, the
not a eulogy, like a candlelight
yeah,
visual
the
or
visual.
something
That's
like
what it
that.
is.
Yeah, and like you can tell by the way Miss Wheeler is looking at Nancy. She's like, "Oh, where'd you get that jacket?
Yeah,
Oh, Steve let me borrow it. Oh, is Steve your boyfriend?" And like, no, nothing
man.
like that. Like you can tell, like like Miss Wheeler knows something's up.
Yeah, I feel like Miss Wheeler was on her like a bloodhound. Like, I think she knew because and people like we can't get past it. It's the inevitable. But like if you've slept with somebody, like, and let's say you
Yeah.
go to work or whatever, like you always seem like you get those confidence because those compliments, like, oh, you seem like you're shining, or
Oh,
yeah,
glowing.
glowing, or some kind of shit like that. Like, it seems like that's always a thing, and I feel like this was almost like one of those walk of shame moments. Like you can clearly see it. And Miss Wheeler, like I said, is like a bloodhound. Like she knows. She's like, Nancy did this. And
Yeah,
but she's
and
she's
you can
she's
like
gonna try and let Nancy have her grace. Like that's why I feel like she doesn't bring it up.
and you can see like in Nancy's face, like she was about to cry
Yeah.
because she is like in the world of disappointment at this moment because she slept with Steve Harrington and she wanted it to be magical. And it probably wasn't
No,
magical, to be
no.
honest. But after this, my mind goes blank and I don't remember what happens after this.
After she leaves Steve,
Yeah. Yeah. So do we go to the boys? Is that what we go
this
to?
no. After this, I'm going to tell you I cheated because I have a page pulled up for this. Um, then we go to the next morning where Jonathan actually wakes up.
Oh, that's right. Because Jonathan wakes up and he sees his mom out in Will's bedroom when she has all the lamps everywhere.
Yeah, and she's trying to get Will to
And she's like,
communicate.
"Hey, come here, Jonathan. Come here, Jonathan. You know, we can see Will. Will's has the blinking lights going on."
I'm not
And
gonna
he's like,
lie to
"Mom,
you, but I don't know if I just haven't realized it before, but she sounds like somebody that should be in a nut house.
I
Come look at the blinky lights. We
mean,
can talk to your brother this way.
I mean, you might not be wrong, but I don't want to judge her too harshly because she is a parent of a missing child at this moment. We don't know how we would react if our children went missing. Knock on wood. Just
Believe
saying.
me, I think
So
if one of our kids went missing, I'll get the bat with nails. You can have the wrist rocket, okay?
maybe we would start looking at blinky lights too. Yeah, this scene was just it was hard to watch.
Yeah,
It was so hard to watch Joyce break down and like see everything that happens to her and stuff. Like within this episode,
yeah.
like seeing her like concoct all the different lights and stuff and all that, like it
Well,
was I don't know, it was just
I
hard to
really want
watch.
to know though, and I'm going to jump forward just a little bit. I really want to know though from her job, like what is her bankroll like thingy? Like
I want to know
if we
is she
had
getting another 2 weeks worth of pay?
I don't think so. I think she just got the lights. But I want to know like do we have a running like tab that says like hey, this is what your 2 weeks of pay looks like. This is what the phone was. This is what the pack of cigarettes and these are the like 500 boxes of fucking lights that you bought on
I want to
credits.
say yes. Cuz I want to say the store like owner like writes down everything in a book.
Yeah, yeah.
Cuz I think she comes back and like gets more shit at one point.
Yeah, that's
It was
when
kind
she
of like an
got the lights.
IOU type of thing.
That's when she came and got like all the
Yeah.
Christmas lights and shit,
Yeah.
which has become fucking iconic now. Who would have thought that those fucking Christmas lights like that would have ever been in that situation?
I mean, you could dress up as that wall at one point for Halloween.
Dressing up as a wall?
Yeah, and it had like the lights, and the
Oh,
lights could
oh, I
like
see what you're saying.
react and stuff.
I
Yeah,
definitely wouldn't dress up as a wall, but it'd be
I
funny.
mean, it is what it
Yeah.
is. It is
Do
what
it
it
for a
is.
party, yeah. Um,
So yeah, she's freaking out, and Jonathan just leaves, if I remember correctly.
yeah, because I think he's going to school.
Yeah, and this is where we see the next day, Nancy and Steve are like at her locker at one point. And she's like, "Yeah, hey, how's it
Well,
going? Like, was it special for
this is where
you?"
we get your favorite scene with the boys.
Oh,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it? Which was that?
This is the one where the boys are all meeting in the thing and they're talking about, all right, we got to go get ready to go find Will again, but we're going to go later on after school. What did you bring? And they start
Oh yeah,
pouring out their backpacks.
yeah, that's right. That's right. So Lucas brings binoculars from Nam, a knife from Nam, and then like his wrist rocket. I think it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
And Dustin just brings all the snacks. He brings all the snacks. What does Mike bring to the table? Is Mike not
I
bringing
have no
anything?
idea. Do you think that Lucas's dad went to Nam?
I want to say maybe, yeah.
For a little
Because
for a little
no, I
while,
want to say
I didn't think he was
maybe
saying
his
Nam. I thought he was saying something else.
maybe his dad or maybe grandfather,
Maybe, yeah.
maybe. I would guess because like Nam was in the 60s, and if I remember my that 70s show, Eric's father was out of Vietnam in the 70s, and he would always talk about
Yeah.
Vietnam.
Well, I guess it
I'm
could
trying
be.
to remember my history here.
I guess it could be. Well, and that's a good thing being able to pull it from another show too. So,
Yeah, no, I love this scene. This whole scene was really funny because like they start trying to get 11 to use her powers and stuff, and Dustin's like, "Hey, can you make this like starship float?" Which was the Millennium
yeah, yeah.
Falcon, and he drops it several times. And like, "Oh, boys, come on, we got to go." And this is where we hear that they're going to go looking for Will later on with 11 and
Yeah.
Dustin and Lucas and stuff. And she basically stays there. She stays at this house, and when it hits was it
3
3:15 or 3:05 or something like
3:15,
that?
yeah.
Yeah, she's got to meet them next to the power lines, and so this is where we get the giant montage of Elle going throughout this entire house. Going to Nancy's room, playing with the TV, playing with the the lazy boy, and we start to get flashbacks of her with Dr. Brenner, specifically her trying to crush a can of soda, as well as later on, she has an experiment with a cat at one point.
Yeah.
Which
Cuz
it's interesting how like they flowed that all
yeah,
together.
cuz didn't she go outside and see that?
I think so,
And she
yes.
saw the cat and she was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Um well, and we did that, and then somewhere in there, which like you said earlier, like some things seem like they're so seamless in there, and it's weird how it's laid out because like there's actually another part in between both of these things that happen with 11, between the boys leaving and hey, meet us here, and then her going through the house and eating stuff and then going outside and everything and trying to and
Yeah.
levitating the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah. What was that?
That's where Nancy comes in and notices like Barb's gone for the first time, and
Oh,
she
yes.
has that weird like regret part where she's like,
Where
everybody's
the fuck did
staring at
Barb go?
me.
Yeah, yeah. Like everybody's
Everybody
staring at me. Where's
everybody's
Barb?
noticing me. Like, what's going on?
And like she's like, "Oh, Steve, you didn't tell anybody, did you?" He's like, "No, I didn't tell anybody." He's like, "Was it good for you? It was good for me to
Yeah.
know. It was good for
Well, and then we
me."
get the
You
other
know.
two people. I can't remember what their names are.
I think it's like Tommy. One of them's Tommy.
Tommy T or Tommy H or something, and then
Yeah, because we get them
Carol
at
or
the
something maybe.
I don't remember because we get them at the
But they do that.
at lunch.
Yeah, yeah, that's the part I'm thinking of where they were moaning about
She's like,
Steve.
Steve, and I was like, oh my god, please stop this. Like, I think even Steve was a little bit uncomfortable with this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Like, and then she sees Jonathan, where Jonathan gets into some trouble. I feel like at this point, where he's going to develop his creepy pictures. Why would Jonathan go develop the creepy pictures?
I
Why?
don't know. I think just because he wanted to try and get over him, and I really think that he does have this big caring thing for Nancy, and so that
Yeah,
one scene where she's standing at the window, I think is something that he wanted to have developed, and he just kind of developed it all as kind of like well, what if it was this circumstance but she was waiting on me.
maybe. I don't know. I mean, it was really
Yeah.
creepy. Like, it was just really weird. I mean, I guess we can go to this point as well in the story where um, we see Jonathan leaving. We're gonna jump around a little. We see Jonathan leaving, and he ends up getting to his car, and Steve is there, surprisingly, with his boy and his girl. And they're like, "Oh man, so and so was taking creepy pictures," and like you can tell, like photography means a lot to Jonathan at this point in his
Yeah.
life. Which I don't know if he ever goes back to photography after this, but
Um,
like, see,
to an extent, he kind of lets it be his gateway into like recording stuff because that's remember in season 2 that's how they get their job at the little newsstand place.
oh yeah, that's right, that's right, that's right,
So
yeah. And we see Steve like bring out the pictures, and Nancy sees them, and he's like, "Oh, we gotta stop this pervert. Gotta stop this pervert from taking pervy pictures." And he breaks this expensive camera. I'm guessing at this point,
I don't know, but to me
and maybe it's a hand-me-down
to
camera.
me it's this is his gateway into like letting off steam and whatnot. And like he virtually knows like if it gets broken, there's no way for him to like pay for it. There's no way for him to fix it. And
Yeah,
so, you know, like this camera means so much to him that it's just, well, if anything happens to it, what do I do? Like
just kind of like
there's nothing I can do to fix it. There's nothing I can do to try and repair it because my family doesn't make enough, you know.
yeah, and just like the nonchalantness of Steve at this point, just
Oh my
whoops,
god.
my bad.
Yeah, and that's one of those moves that like pisses me off in like every kind of media that you watch or movies and stuff where it's that like I'm going to wait till you get right beside my hand and just like oops like butterfingers like you know like
Whoops,
yeah,
whoopsies.
yeah. And like you know damn well you meant to have them and then you're going to sit there and criticize them that you gave them enough applicable time to be able to do this stuff and you know obviously it wasn't
Like, it's just so weird with their rivalry in this show.
yeah well
Like,
and it's weird to like watch season 5 and have like this rivalry kind of come back almost but like the roles almost
yeah,
switched
yeah,
and you're like what the fuck.
yeah. It's just so weird. It really, really
Yeah.
weird. And then from here we get Hopper's perspective, I would say more in this, to where he's starting to put pieces together here and there because they're looking into the theory that Will might be in the Hawkins
Oh
laboratory
yeah.
because of the pipe that they found. And they go up there, which is a really funny scene to where they all go up there, and where is the third guy? Is he just sitting in the back of the cab
Yeah.
and putting his head out the
Yeah,
window?
he's leaning forward, which I like
Yeah,
this scene because of how Hopper handles it. It's very funny because
yeah. Which
he's like, "Hey man, you and I." Well, first he asks like, "Hey, we need to look at Hawkins' lab." Well, at first you're gonna have to go through this, and you're gonna have to do that. And he just takes his hat off, and he's like, "Hey man, like I know, you know, we know that obviously this boy's not gonna be in this lab, but I just need you to let me
yeah.
go in and talk to somebody so that I can say I was here and give me like 10 minutes to look around. And can you just talk to your supervisor guy about it?" And like, you know, I feel like you really notice with like a lot of things, like Hopper is very charismatic, but
Yeah, very,
the
very.
thing that really gets him are the other choices he makes.
Yeah, like the more heartfelt choices he
Yeah, yeah,
makes, where he leads with his heart and not his like instinct or gut, I
yeah.
guess.
Which,
Yeah. And it's interesting. It's interesting to see like how he goes about doing things in this episode, to where like they actually go do investigate, and they actually get a hold of the video of that night, and you see like that's all there is. Like there's nothing really on the video, and Hopper, like, remembers we canceled the search that night because there was a big rainstorm.
yeah.
and there was no rain in the video. So like obviously they're doctoring up videos at this point. They're trying to lie to us. So he comes to the conclusion that Will probably might be connected to this in some way.
Yeah.
Like some shady shit's going on in Hawkins' lab.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And it's not that they had the search going on, but that's when Will disappeared, and just having some natural thing, like, even if they could have shown it without 11, if they could have picked any day where it rained, Hopper wouldn't have been so suspicious. But it was the fact that they tried to cover it up with another day from like that week, like they
Yeah,
ruined the whole thing with it. Um, you know, but
they weren't
we
smart
also
enough.
get bits and pieces of like other stuff in this, like, and I know I know you're
Oh,
saying like we're jumping around, but like there are some things that are like so minutely put into season one.
are you talking about when they're actually at the library, like doing investigating and
Not yet.
stuff?
That should be afterwards, I believe.
No, they investigate Hawkins, right? And then they go into the investigating. They go to the library and then they go investigate Hawkins, right?
No, I think they would go to the
Hawkins'
lab
lab.
first,
Okay,
and
okay.
then that's what gets them suspicious.
Continue. Sorry.
That's what gets them suspicious about looking in the library. Um,
Continue. My bad.
no, but we had the little part where, and it, like I said, it's just minute things. It's really weird. We had the little thing like 11 walking around the house too, which we've already touched on, but where like kind of like she did with the picture of Will. It was like, oh, I know where he is from episode 2. We also have that part where she does it with Barb, and she's like, she knows who
Oh
that
yeah,
is. Um, you know,
I forgot about that.
yeah, and again, like we have another part where Nancy brings up to Steve, like, "Where's Barb at?" It's really weird, like having this best friend in your life, and then just not. She's
Yeah,
not.
because she ends up calling Bob. She ends up calling Barb's house at one point during the day, because like she's just trying to figure out where her friend is because she's not in class, she's not at school,
Yeah,
and she calls Barb's mom at one point and is like, "Hey, I can't find Barb." And she was like, "Oh, I thought Barb was staying with you." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. Maybe she's at the library." And this is where we see like Nancy really, really start to worry.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. And then that part will segue us back into what we've already talked about, where the camera breaks because some girl in the lab when Jonathan's developing goes, "Oh my god, he's got dirty pictures of what's her face."
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and which leads us to
well, we have
like Hopper's
where
doing.
the boys are getting the rocks for the wrist rocket too.
Oh yeah, talk about that because that part was actually kind of funny.
They're picking it up, and we have the same two little douchebag boys that come out of nowhere and are like, "Oh my god, what are you guys doing? You guys are picking stuff up,"
Yeah,
and like basically talking about Will in front of them, like behind his back, though, because obviously
I mean
someone.
they're basically saying he's a queer,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah,
Their words, not ours. Their words is what he said.
yeah,
He's like, my dad said he ran off with some
yeah.
queers.
Which then we get to one scene, which this is the part that is kind of annoying in all this, is where they trip Mike up, and I every time I watch this, I always thought that he hit his teeth and not his chin. Um,
I did too. I thought he like chipped his tooth or
yeah,
something.
yeah, and that's what I feel like. But supposedly, that's what the red mark on his chin is later.
Yeah, he like hits it and
Yeah, yeah,
stuff. Yeah, and they actually do find the quote Monster Slayer rock, which will become a thing later on in the season.
yeah. They were like, or Lucas was now like, I'm David. To now, I got to find my Goliath.
Yeah. And so we actually go on at this point to
But this is the
see,
library part too, though, that you're talking about.
yeah, where we see Hopper and his, I forget his like deputy, I forget what their names are. One of them is there, and we see, well, you have some nerve coming into this library, Hopper. We find out that Hopper had a date with this nice young librarian, and he stood her up basically. And he's like, well, if you help us out, maybe we can have another date, like say next week or something. He's just he's just really trying to get
do you,
information at this
do
point.
you
I
think
feel
they were
like,
supposed to go to Enzo's?
oh, maybe they're supposed to go to Enzo's.
I don't even think Enzo's became a thing until season 2, but it's just funny, like brainstorming all this. Like, yeah, that's probably the best joint. Hopper's probably taking people to Enzo's like all the fucking time.
Yeah, but they go through like their like microfilm or whatever it is. The what's the thing where like you look at the newspaper clippings? I
Um,
forget what it's called. It's the thing.
I know what the other thing is. I don't know if this is called the same thing, but it's like a Rolodex.
Yeah, but they have a Rolodex, but then they have like the information off the Rolodex to get to the information to where they can look up the like the newspaper clippings they have from the different
Yeah.
stuff, and they start to figure things out a little bit. Like the Hawkins laboratory isn't what it seems to be. Somebody claims that their baby got taken using LSD experiments at one point, which foreshadowing
MK
is
Ultra.
actually 11.
True.
It's 11. We find out later on is the little baby who gets involved in the LSD
True.
experiments.
So, but since we've covered like a good chunk of that stuff, this next part is the big part that I actually want to talk to you about and
Okay.
relate some of it to season 5.
Okay.
So, this next part is basically where Karen goes over to see Joyce, Miss Byers.
Oh,
Miss
yes.
Wheeler goes over to see Miss Byers, and basically, like, she takes Holly with her, and we have where
Yeah.
Holly um, stumbles into the room and basically like sees the lights as like Will is kind of like using them here and there.
Talking to her, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously it's like this crazy ass light show, and we have where like the next part is Holly almost sees like the imprint of the Demogorgon trying to come through the wall.
Yeah.
And I just want to know, like, do you think that this had a pivotal moment for what happens in season 5? Like, is this the reason
I
why
don't
Holly became like kid number one? Uh,
I don't I don't know if they had everything laid out that
yeah,
soon within Stranger
yeah,
Things.
yeah. I
I think it's
I don't think so
I think it's
either,
honestly
but
a happy
yeah, yeah.
coincidence.
I feel that way too because we don't ever see any of the other kids that could have been there. But
Yeah.
it was one of the things that I wondered about because I was like, I
I
wonder
mean, I did
I
too.
wonder if this could be a point of interest of like when Will was using his stuff, Holly was the person that got closest to him. And could you viably argue, like, yeah, that's the reason why Holly was number one taken?
Um I guess you can put two and two together, but I feel like it's a big jump. A big jump in logic, I would
Yeah,
say, or in storytelling, because I feel like they didn't have it all put
yeah,
together.
yeah,
But yeah, it was. We see this thing where, like, Joyce is obviously disheveled at this point. She's very disheveled. She has lights strung out everywhere. I don't know if she actually painted the wall at this moment, but uh, uh, was it Karen? Karen Wheeler?
yeah. So this is,
Karen. Karen brings her the
yeah,
casserole.
yeah. And she puts it in the oven, and that's when Holly has the chance to sneak off. No, this
Yeah.
is where she has, I feel like, hand me down lights or lamps and stuff, but this is before she gets the Christmas lights.
Okay. She had the Christmas lights when Holly was there.
Well, I know she had some Christmas lights, but I don't think she had all the Christmas lights.
She puts the rest of them up later,
Okay,
I
because I
believe.
think that's what
Yeah.
also triggers her to like do the painting and stuff later on as well.
Yeah, because she has all the Christmas lights strung up out of the living room and the kitchen and the hallway and stuff,
Okay.
and then which leads her to like Will. He like motions to her like in this like cubby area in the wall, like, and she takes a bunch of lights in there and she starts talking to Will at this
Yeah, yeah.
point, like talking him through the lights, and then she starts gets the idea to write down like the alphabet, and he starts saying like I'm here, and she's like, what does that mean, what does that mean, what's going on? He's like, are you safe? And he's like, no, I'm not safe. And like she kind of freaks out at this point, like really freaks out, and we go from that to the boys in 11 going off on their hunts and trying to look for Mike at this point, and it sort of diverges into Hopper as well, because Hopper and the other deputies are like going down the highway and they're trying to figure out what exactly is going on. They obviously find something at the quarry, and Mike and his friends get there, and we get the big reveal at this moment. The big reveal is, hey, we found a body, and hey, it looks to be Will's body.
Yes, yes.
Where Mike fucking loses it at this point. He loses it, and he's like, you were supposed to help us find Will alive, not dead. Like, what the fuck is your problem? Like, I can't deal with you. And 11 starts to break down, and she's like, like, I think she knew that wasn't Will at some point, but she couldn't explain to Mike what was happening.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with that.
It was what I gathered from that
No, no,
scene.
I agree with that. I think that is very true because she knows where he is. And I think it's one of those things that they put something out there for like seeing is believing, and they basically like pulled a red herring on everybody.
I mean, for sure they did, because I remember watching this
Yeah.
and I was like, that has to fucking be his body. Like when I originally watched this, I was like, oh, he's fucking dead, and it's his ghost. His ghost is talking to
Yeah,
Joyce.
yeah.
Like I never put two and two together at this point that he was still fucking alive. Which is probably hindsight is 2020 or whatever.
I I've never thought that it was him, but I was like, okay, well, if they had experiments like 11 going on, did they do any work with skin grafts? And I was like, oh my god, what if they had another kid like 11 that did
Well, that's the
that didn't
thing.
have
That's the thing.
powers?
Don't they actually like use a different body, if I remember correctly?
Use a different.
Like, don't they use like a human body?
No, it's all genetic. Like it's all made up. It's fake.
It's
Yeah,
fake.
it's
Okay.
used to
Okay.
feel like human skin and everything, but it's really just a rubber, like a rubberish body with cotton in it.
I'll
Does
have
that
to
make
watch the next
sense?
episode because I don't remember
Does that
exactly.
make sense?
Yeah, yeah, kind of, yeah.
It's
Like a real doll.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like one of those gelatin torsos. Like if you closed your eyes and I had you walk up to it, you could feel it and be like, "Oh, this could kind of be like a cadaver body." And then you open your eyes and you go, "This is Jello."
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, and we get the big
But
reveal that Mike goes
but
home.
I thought though, like the lab was could have been doing like extra experiments, right? And that they had
Yeah.
another like kid's body. At this moment, I thought they had another
I mean, that's what I
kid's
thought.
body, and they had went in and done like reconstructive surgery to make it look like Will.
I
Like that's what I thought
mean,
originally because I was like, okay, if they have 11, who's to say that they haven't kidnapped other kids? Because I mean, when you first watch this, you don't know that 11 came to them kind of sort of with the powers. I thought
yeah.
they had just like created her to have the powers. and almost like she was a test tube baby, and that they had done something with like another kid and it was a failure, so that the thing died or whatever, or just was like brain dead, and they used that to mimic this stuff for Will until we find out in the next episode what it really is.
I mean, even at this point, like we don't even know there's other children at
Right,
Hawkins.
right.
We only know of I believe 11 at this
We
point,
we only know of 11 in the
and
rift,
we don't.
in the little rift.
Yeah, yeah. Which is interesting to think about, like how like they were so everything was so secretive, and like we us knowing everything kind of puts everything in perspective with season one.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Uh, but we get the big reveal at home. Mike goes home. He's distraught. We also see Barb's family there because Nancy actually told her mom that Barb has gone missing and she is worried. She kind of fesses up and says, like, I fucked everything up, basically.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's a very sad time for the for Mike and Joyce, not Joyce, but Mike and Karen, and I guess Nancy. Like, it's not a good time for them.
No.
They think everybody's dead.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and this is where our episode ends. Basically,
Say that one more time.
I said this is where our episode ends.
Okay. Yeah.
What'd you think I said?
You just faded out, so I was like, "Oh my god, what happened?"
Okay. Yeah, our episode ends. So, like, what did you think all in all of this episode?
I agree with you that this one is better than the second episode. Um, I do feel like the first time I watched this, it obviously had more of a shock value.
Yeah.
You know that hey,
I forgot about the dead. I forgot about the dead body. To be honest, like I forgot that they found a like quote Will's dead body in the river or the
yeah, yeah.
quarry. Like I forgot about that. So it was a little bit of a shock value, and then like my memory started to kind of come
Well,
back.
see, the other weird thing that always trips me up, like every time I rewatch this now for season one, we've never brought the quarry back up, like ever.
Not after season
And
one.
I'm
No.
just kind of like, why haven't we brought it back up ever? Like, why hasn't it been a thing anymore? You know,
I mean, I don't know.
well, and it's just one of those things, like because we see the thing originally where Hopper goes out there and they are talking about the guy last episode that jumped off and oh he did it because he was drunk and da 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 da. And I think they actually were talking about Lonnie, right? Or something about
I
Lonnie.
want to say yes.
Or
I want to say probably Lonnie. Like Lonnie made the jump or
yeah,
something. I there's like
it
survived
was
the
a guy
jump.
that Lonnie knew, like that he had boozed up, and they were like, "No, that guy's lying about it." Um, so we get that. We get like later on, whenever the boys are like trying to get Mike to jump off the cliff. Um,
Yeah, that comes later
yeah, and then
though.
this part right here with the body, and it's just like, well, why didn't we? It seemed like it was such a big pivotal area in season one. Why didn't we reuse it at all?
It's probably because that's all they had the money for.
Yeah,
But I will say the last scene in this of like them finding the body and Hopper being like, "Oh, don't let it be the boy, don't let it be the
yeah,
boy," is a very emotional scene.
yeah, yeah.
Like it still hits hard. Like in all like intents purposes, like it hits really hard still.
Well,
Like, oh my
and
god, like they
the
found
song
the dead
choice,
body.
I'm going to tell you, I hate the song choice for this because I know what song it really is. I like the undertone of what it is, but then when you really hear it start singing right at the very end, where you get the embrace where Jonathan pulls up to find Nancy in the road, basically, like
Yeah.
she was trying to run to the place, and he just embraces her, like you feel it. But when it does that low fucking key, "We Could Be Heroes" at least for one day part. I'm like, that does not even fit this fucking situation, okay? Like,
I mean, it's
if we
funny. I didn't
if
notice
we could
that.
have had it all the way until we got to that, I fully agree. Like, it is a very fucking touching song for this moment. But just to have that one little bit that's like, and we could be heroes if just for one day. And I was like, I don't know if you could be a hero when somebody died. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, all in all, like I did enjoy this
Yeah,
episode.
yeah,
I enjoyed it a lot more than episode 2.
yeah,
Like things start to come together. I love the scene with the kids. Like the scene with the kids when they're trying to figure out like their game plan of what supplies they're gonna bring with them was hysterical.
yeah. What
And like, where did Lucas get all that shit? Like, I want
he
to
got it
know
from his house in Nam.
because he brings like camouflage fatigues at one point too, and like is one of the things that he has. And then like Justin, or not Justin, Dustin has snacks. I got
Yeah.
snacks.
Well, so let me tell you this. I thought it was pretty funny. So one thing is while we're listening to it, he he brings up when they zoom back out from what's on the table and he goes camo headband. And I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna put that on, like because some things we just don't see him. He brings it up here, but we don't see them use it. And in this
Yeah,
episode, in
yeah.
this season, he does wear the camo headband, like he's kind of like Rambo. Um.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so at this part, like, my little guy was in the room with me, and Dustin pours out his backpack as he's going through what the snacks are, and he goes, "Dad, he's got Pringles and he's got shit, what is it? The little candies, not sprees,
There were so many candies. It was so many candies. I don't remember what they were. He's got like bazooka chew gum or something like that. I think
yeah,
at one point
it's the
he
it
got like vanilla wafers.
yeah, it's the little colored ones that are circular and they come in like packs of like 20 and you open them up. Like sprees.
Is it
Sprees,
sprees?
yeah.
Sprees?
And he goes
Okay.
and I got a bag of sprees if you want any. And he goes, he's got sprees, Dad. It's like the randomest shit that in a show that another character is dumping out on a table. It's food that you don't even think about. And to hear an 8-year-old turn around and basically tell you what out of that bag is like meaningful to them, because like he nothing on the vanilla wafers, nothing on part of those, but the fucking Pringles and sprees, you're like, Dustin, you were doing something right.
Yeah, no, because he did have like a can of Pringles, but it was like the old
Yeah, yeah.
Pringles. I think it was.
So
Yeah. Yeah,
it just
no.
made me laugh. Just that whole little thing, like it added to the episode a little more. Just my little guy being like, Dad, you know what he's got in his bag? He's got some Pringles and some
Pringles.
sprees.
Got some Pringles. Let's put them
Yeah.
together. Have some
I
spree
was like,
Pringles.
oh my God, that was the best.
I mean, that is pretty hysterical. That is pretty
Yeah.
hysterical, I have to say.
So my
But
question to
yeah.
you is, in what order so far have you enjoyed this? Like what would your top one be out of
Uh,
these 3 episodes?
Probably episode 3 for right
Okay.
now.
Uh
I got like episode 3 had that creep factor kind of.
yeah. I
But
to me, I still feel like episode 1 is kind of up there at in
I mean, episode 1 is up
at
there.
the one spot for me right now. But 3 is the next one, because I do wholeheartedly agree with you that 3 is the stronger one of 3 and 2. But they're so like they're not interchangeable, but they so go hand in hand together that it's really hard
Yeah.
on that whole thing.
Yeah. They're so intertwined.
But
So
I,
intertwined. They're so intertwined
I
at this
also
point.
know that we're getting into higher episodes that will actually knock number 1 and number 3 down pegs, and that will be
Yeah.
a lot better. And I'm just like, oh man.
Yeah, I think with number 3, it gets its
Yeah,
footing.
yeah,
I would say for storytelling and letting make the story slowly but surely move along, and leave us those breadcrumbs that we go after
yeah.
as fans. Our people watching the show, which I think is probably the best part, is finding those breadcrumbs or finding the stuff that you didn't know were
Well,
connected to
and
whatever.
just like you and I have been talking about how it seems like it's all over the place in season one, like it is all over the place in season one. And when we get
Yeah,
into season two, that there will be a little more structure on how the episodes come out. Um,
that is true.
it's just a weird thing with season one of some shows that they have these really weird jaunts of how they've either cut them a certain way or something else, and then you get like a new face for it for the next season, and they know exactly what they want to do, and everything just fits into place more perfectly instead of having like little vignettes through
Yeah,
the whole episode.
yeah, yeah. They're still trying to find their footing, like I
Yeah,
said.
yeah,
So, I give them a little bit of leeway because it was the first season after
yeah, yeah.
all. Now, with season 2 going forward, you might not have that leeway.
This is true.
But yeah, anyways, I thought this was a fairly good episode. I love every time the kids are on screen. Like, I love this show.
Yeah,
Like, the kids just being kids and trying to figure out shit is like probably the best part
yeah. Well,
of this first
and I feel
season.
like it trips me up, like looking at them now and then looking at them, or looking at them then and looking at them now, because of how the growth just happens with the characters, like of the actors, I would say, actors and actresses.
Yeah. So you want to hear something
Sure.
interesting? So season 1, like Steve, I think he was like 20 or 21, I think it
Yeah,
was like 19, 20,
yeah,
21 ish. At when we get to season 5, like Dustin and them are like the age that Steve was in season
yeah.
1. It's crazy to think
Oh
about
yeah.
that.
I liked there's a thing that I've seen on Instagram before where it's Gayton, which is Dustin, and he's talking to
Uh-huh.
Steve, which is Joe, about he's about to turn 20, I think it is. And
Yeah.
him and I think Jonathan's character are sitting beside each other, and they look at him and they go, "No, no, it's Eddie." Eddie looks at him and he goes, "What?" And they're just talking about like how long ago that they were that age, when they
Yeah.
kind of started
Yeah.
doing this compared to what it is now.
Like, I think like when we get to her character, but Erica in season 5 is like a night. She is 19. The actress
Yeah,
is,
yeah,
and like I'm like, that's the one thing I kind of hate going forward is like the hardness of trying to be like, oh, like age these characters down a little bit or these people down a little bit.
yeah,
Like Eric, she's obviously a 19-year-old, not somebody who is in like middle
yeah,
school.
yeah,
Like it's like I feel like it breaks the illusion
yeah.
almost a little
Well,
bit
and my whole other
at points.
thing on part of that too, though, is like you started all this as like at a young age, and it's taken so
Yeah,
long to get through it, and it's not something that you have that comes out every. It's not Supernatural where they had, like they started the
a
season.
season every
Yeah,
year.
like a season every year, like you had that, or like the season started and there was a season in between years or whatever. Like you don't have
Yeah,
all that stuff, and you don't have it where we have those 26 episodes anymore that used to be the standard for most TV shows. And so we're getting it
yeah,
where you have this, and so obviously I feel like you don't have as much wiggle room on a lot of stuff, and it's kind of like what does it feel like for a child actor almost that's now an adult actor, that like knowing that possibly your best work that you've ever done was the thing that you did was when you were a child, and nobody will see anything else past that.
I mean, I feel like some of them did have that fear at one
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
But I mean, if the one thing you're known for is Stranger
yeah,
Things, I think you'll be
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
But yeah, it's interesting to see like their growth and like especially between this season and like next season or like even season 3.
yeah.
Like they fucking hit puberty so hard.
Well, and Gaten starts getting his teeth in Dustin,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we
yeah,
do get some stuff.
yeah. Which is always fun to come back to these characters because each season is like a reset almost.
Yeah,
But anyways, we've talked too long in this
yeah, we
episode.
did.
Jen, where can they find you,
You
Jen?
can find me on Instagram under Bard's Tavern or Manga Restart, and of course, everywhere that Otakuology is.
And you can find me at the Otaku Mike on YouTube or Instagram. Hit us up on our YouTube channel, Otakuology. Leave a comment. We'll talk to you. Have a little conversation about Stranger Things. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let us know what you think of our weird AI Stranger Things art that we've come up with for each of our
Jesus
thumbnails
Christ.
because they're pretty funny. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment and share the podcast. It helps people find our podcasts. And leave us a suggestion of what we should do after season 1 of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So I feel like we should break these up, to be honest, a little bit.
Yeah, unless people are really,
I don't
really
know.
kicking down the door for them.
Unless really people are kicking out the door for Stranger Things,
So,
yeah. But anyways, thanks for listening.
we'll see you next Tuesday.